Hello everyone, I hope you're doing great. After a few months of patience, Buncerog delivered to us the camera update for Telspire, replacing the Dragon version we had since the start of the beta. The camera version is a massive update to the core engine of the game, meaning that most of the changes are internal to accommodate for future scalability and stability of the game. Though, rest assured that plenty of new things have also spawned. And have you noticed that the dice on the home screen roll at random each time? But first, if you had access to the beta, you will be interested to know that all your past creations will be upgraded to the new version of the game easily. Just a few clicks and my 29 boards were updated and I could enjoy all the novelty camera is bringing to us. I will just make a small interlude right now to say that the Fog of War will be implemented in the future weeks, as well as party line of sights and refined tutorials. For now though, all efforts of the devs are focused toward making sure that camera is bug-free. So, once you get into camera, the first thing you'll realize is the improved performances. Gaze upon this mighty and gigantic board that is the capital of Lepidstadt. I had from 10 to 14 frames per second before, and now I'm at a steady 30 plus frames. This behavior is consistent through all slabs and boards I've tested it with, and it seems GPU usage as well as CPU usage have been improved, making for a more efficient use of the computer's resources. As a player, not much will seem to change at a first glance, but you can now enjoy a brand new chat feature as well as nicer history of actions. Just hit enter, and your selected token will display a nice speech bubble for everyone to see. Dash rolls will also be displayed in the Istallri in a much nicer way, and I hear that this is only the start of the improvements in this area. If you feel more mischievous, a brand new animation has been added for a magic spell. While we know that more animation will be added, this first iteration is really nice and proves very entertaining, as each time it will take a different path to hit its target. Though, this would not be the camera update without a Chimera Figurine. Sole miniature added to this update, it is an impressive one nonetheless, with its majestic wings and fierce goat head. This reminds me that you can now rotate a figurine with the Alt key before you drop it for players to see, or you can put it directly in fly mode with the F key and change its altitude with control. And if you are ready to go mad, filling cities and dungeons full of undeads, you can now place up to 1,000 miniatures. The previous limit was a mere 300, pretty impressive. And no, I won't take the time to plunk down 1,000 figurines. I already suffer enough of my own stupid ideas when editing my videos. If you have filled the board with miniatures to your heart's contempt, you may be stuck with the game and needing help. While I have some nifty tutorials on my channel, you can simply press spacebar and click on the tutorial icon that appears on the top left of your screen. Remember that those are heavily work in progress, but they still do provide helpful information and will, like fine wine, improve over time. The camera update has been bountiful so far for new users and players. But what for builders and mod architects? Well, it's even better. Buncerog has worked on a new iteration of the building tool to allow for better placement of tiles and improved clipping. So, let's start in order. First, you can now rebind more keys to your liking, and it seems more options will be made available with future updates. More control to customize your experience is always appreciated. Here is a quick recap of the main change in tools and keybinds. In GM mode, remember to press B to go into build mode and then hit the spacebar to show the asset library or shelf. You can open it to browse all assets in the game, and the shelf can easily be resized. For a quick browse, you can click the categories at the bottom of the library to highlight all the assets available in said category. Many assets have also been recategorized into props for easier use, and many new props also have been added, meaning that you can now freely place trees, torches, rocks, and many other things without them being restrained by the grid. Here is a quick glance at all the new assets that have been added. I counted over 75 new ones. And getting new props is not the sole thing that was improved in Telspire. You can now place them freely everywhere. We are not bound anymore to the humanly realm of the squared grid. None shall prevent us from stacking baguettes everywhere now. Well, actually, you can now orient the props on 24 different orientations and place them near everywhere. This comes from the fact that now clipping props and tiles is part of the official building process and is made easier than ever. Take any tile, and when you hold the Shift key, it will now clip into anything at its current height. See that when I click Shift once, the height grid goes up, and all my asset can be placed through other tiles. Remember though that only props can be placed off-grid. The main tiles of the game do still respect it. If you push Shift again, you will go out of the clipping mode, and no asset will now prevent clipping. If you are holding an asset and want to move it up or down, you can maintain the Control key and change its elevation with your mouse movements. You can also sample the height with the Sample Height button on the interface on number 3 on your keyboard. In a faster way, you can also maintain right-click and click the left mouse button to change the grid height to where you are pointing. Quick tip, with the Shift plus mouse wheel click, you can sample a tile. Talking of sampling, a new tool has appeared. If you hit the C key or click on the sampling tool icon of your library, using this tool you can select any tile on your board and quickly display all the tiles of the same family in the library. It even works on miniatures. So, let's say you do not want to spend hours in making builds and putting every minute detail to the right place. Well, you're in luck, as it is now easier than ever to quickly put content together in Telspire. Grab a few slabs and simply paste them in each other. Remember to use Ctrl to adjust the height and Shift to toggle on and off clipping, and you'll have awesome scenes in no time. If you're even lazier than that, don't even fret, as we can now share whole ass boards in Telspire. In the left panel that appears with spacebar, you can share the board you're currently in by clicking the Publish Copy button. This will give you an URL that anyone can enter to download your board. If they do so with Telspire open, in just a few clicks they will get access to gigantic maps already created. Board sharing even allows sharing miniatures, and GM settings saves into the board or into GM blocks. And that is pretty much everything in the Chimera release. We already have seen a few patch notes for the main bugs and tweaks to control or feedback, and there will surely be more to come. That is all for this video, as I leave you with some shots of a build I've made in Chimera. I hope you'll learn something today, and stay creative, my friends.